Straight ahead on 12 News, dealing with the challenges of Alzheimer's disease.
Alzheimer's can be a devastating disease.
We get perspective from a Maple Grove family. But first, ruling made. A judge's decision paves the way for the Terrace Theater to come down. 12 News starts right now. Robbinsdale's Terrace Theater was billed as a crown jewel for its time, and one architectural historian called it one of Minnesota's mid-century masterpieces.
But for the past 17 years, the once iconic theater has sat vacant and fallen into disrepair. In his decision, Judge Michael Brown wrote, quote, "Despite being touted as the gem of the lakes and standing as an icon in the city of Robbinsdale for decades, its final service to the community may be to give way to more practical and fruitful endeavors." Judge Brown goes on to write, quote, "We must preserve our history and culture, but not at the expense of the health, safety, and welfare of our communities," end quote. So what happens next, and will Hy-Vee return to redevelop the site?
We get more from 12 News reporter Sonia Goins.
I am all for theaters, just not that one.
Burgtown is buzzing over the judge's ruling.
Right now, nothing is happening on that corner that's serving the community. Robbinsdale's a family place. Families need grocery stores, other things that will help.
A little bit of relief, just finally happy that a decision has been made and we can move forward with whatever that is may be. We'll find out soon enough.
Folks on both sides of the issue had something to say.
It's really sad because that was a really cool looking place, but I get it. It's cost a lot of money.
I am all for tearing it down, the theater, and building something new and better that will serve the community.
Two groups, Save the Terrace Theater and Friends of the Terrace, fought hard to preserve the theater.
I think it should be preserved, find a way to keep it useful somehow in the community. I think it's a great space, and I'd love to see it have a future home, some business or theater or something locally here.
Friends of the Theater sued, saying tearing down the theater violated a 1971 state law that deals with the protection of natural and historical resources. Bricksmore Property Group countered the suit, and according to these court documents, they say the building is a safety risk. They say the ceilings are crumbling, there's water damage, there's mold damage, and it's so bad that the Robbinsdale police officers refused to enter the building. In the end, the judge denied the request by Friends of the Terrace for a temporary restraining order, paving the way for demolition. Now the question remains if Hy-Vee will go forward with its previous plans to redevelop the site.
There's going to be some excitement to finally have something new there.
Mike and Alex, the mayor tells me he plans on reaching out to the Inland Group. They're the developers of this property. They're expected to discuss whether or not Hy-Vee is still an option for this site. In Robbinsdale, Sonia Goins, 12 News. All right, thanks, Sonia. And the group that worked for nearly 2 years to save the Terrace Theater is now shifting focus, hoping to preserve items from the theater before it's demolished. David Leonard, board chair of Save the Historic Terrace Theater, says his group is working with the Robbinsdale mayor. They want to see items such as the terrace signs on top the theater saved, and perhaps light fixtures and bricks from the 1950s building retained for the Robbinsdale Historical Society.
Obviously, our primary goal would have been to save the theater as a whole, but if that's not possible, to save pieces of it so that somebody can go back and say this was important, this was worth saving from the theater. We'd be looking at keeping some of it probably at the Historic Society.
I spoke directly to the site developer, Kent Carlson of Inland Development Partners, and he said he is working with Robbinsdale's mayor to make sure that memorabilia from inside and outside the theater is retrieved.
In the wake of the St. Cloud stabbings and bombings in New Jersey and New York, it's understandable why some people are on edge in public. And that's why the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office wants everyone to know how to react if they encounter such violence. Eric Nelson joins us now with more on that. Eric?
Mike, these incidents are rare, but unfortunately they do happen. However, Hennepin County Sheriff Rich Stanek believes there is no reason to be paralyzed with fear. Stanek has some basic tips for anyone caught in the crossfire of a random shooting or other violent situations.
If you can get away or flee, get away and flee. Secondly, if you can't, then shelter in place. Be the smallest object possible. Hide under something, hide within something. Third,
use your cell phone, use a landline, call 911, be very descriptive. In other words, you want to be the best witness.
Hennepin County has put out a video demonstrating how to survive active shootings and other violence. Stanek's daughter works at the Crossroads Mall in St. Cloud, but fortunately was not there when the knifing spree took place. She returned to her job Monday and was clearly shaken up.
She has different thoughts and concerns about her personal safety, as well as being the manager of that particular business. She's responsible for the other employees and the customers who come. They're very well trained in terms of how they react to things, whether it's a tornado that blows through the area.
Stanek believes that parents should talk to their kids about having a plan on how to react if a worst-case scenario does happen. Mike?
All right, thank you. Hennepin County Commissioners have approved an increase in the maximum budget levy for next year, a maximum increase of nearly 4.5% passed by a vote of 6-1. That would be an increase of $32 million. The levy can go down, but it can't go up any higher. Commissioners said the higher levy is driven by mandates passed onto the county and by growing caseloads in Health and Human Services and probation officers. Budget hearings start on Thursday.
Unique, eye-catching, and iconic. That's the goal of a new City Hall sign approved by Brooklyn Park city officials. The new sign will be more art than monument. The proposed design features big aluminum arches at a cost of between $82,000 and $92,000. That's about $32,000 over the city's initial $60,000 budget to fix or replace its current City Hall sign. The city still needs to select a manufacturer, which could happen next month. Coming up, a Maple Grove family's way of tackling Alzheimer's disease.
And then later in sports, Champlin Park and Maple Grove battle in a close girls tennis matchup.
But first, rain, and lots of it. We could see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rainfall Wednesday into Thursday.
Getting older is something that happens to us all, yet aging brings different sets of challenges for different people.
For more than 100,000 Minnesotans, it's the challenge of living with Alzheimer's disease. In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland introduces us to a Maple Grove family who's learning about the struggles of caring for a loved one with Alzheimer's.
Saturday morning at the home of the Minnesota Twins.
This is one of our largest events, so it's very significant.
More than 11,000 people filled the stands.
It's kind of amazing.
Their hearts filled with optimism and hope. No, not for the hometown team, but for their friends and family members affected by Alzheimer's disease.
We're happy to be here today. We actually have a team of 65 people. We're one of the largest teams.
Katie Hawes joined her siblings in honor of their mother, Patty Schomer, a Maple Grove resident who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 2 years ago at the age of 56.
And that makes it considered early onset. It's been definitely trying. We're all trying to come together and really do everything we can to support each other, because that's going to be really important as this disease progresses.
For the support they can't find through each other.
Alzheimer's disease can be a really isolating disease, and people can feel like they're alone.
That's where the Alzheimer's Association comes into play. This annual Walk to End Alzheimer's helps fund the organization's programs and services.
Funding those programs and resources, too, is really important because it's what helps get them through. Knowing that there's someone at the other end of the line when they have a question at 2 o'clock in the morning, or they can't sleep because this thing is bothering them.
It's a feeling familiar to many who took to the streets of downtown Minneapolis in honor of their loved ones. But by raising money and awareness for the disease, the hope is that one day future generations won't have to endure the same challenges.
I think the more awareness and the more fundraising that Alzheimer's can get, the closer they're going to get to finding a cure.
For Health Check, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
The Twin Cities Walk to End Alzheimer's raised more than $1.2 million. Coming up, a powerful story shared by one immigrant's unique journey.
But first, the Park Center boys and Wayzata girls soccer teams are off to great starts this fall. John Jacobson has their stories next in sports.
The Park Center boys soccer team isn't having any letdown after making a trip to the state tournament last fall. The Pirates enter Tuesday night with a 7-1-1 record, rated number 6 in the state Class AA poll. They're tied for first in the Northwest Suburban Conference standings. Though they had to replace some scoring punch lost to graduation, the Pirates have gelled pretty well this season.
We're playing really good because we got new people and stuff. Like me, I'm new to the team, making the varsity team, but the team, everybody been doing that job and we're doing pretty good.
Our defense has been really strong, and obviously Salvador in the goal, he's been really good. Yeah, we hold it down back there, and obviously our forwards are doing well, getting lots of goals. So.
Yeah. The Pirates will have to do without veteran defender Jet Tapananse, who was lost for the season with a collapsed lung on Saturday. The coaches want the players to concentrate on small things as they head down the stretch of the season.
We're always just trying to get better. Like I say, we go week by week, trying to go 3-0 every week, but at the end of the day, we want to get better from Monday on through Saturday. And if we do that throughout the year, we're going to be where we want to be going into sections, playing the way we want to, and have a good chance to, ultimately our goal is to go back to the state tournament. So.
Park Center faces a tough test Tuesday against Centennial, and they have games Thursday and Saturday as well. In a program with a long history of success, Wayzata's girls soccer team is ranked number 1 in the state. The Trojans enter Tuesday's game against rival Minnetonka with an 8-0-1 record. They've allowed a grand total of 1 goal so far this season. After playing in the state tournament last season, the Wayzata girls know it's too early to be satisfied this fall, but they are happy with how things are going.
Well, Tony just previously told us that this is the best start of the Wayzata season that he's had since 2002, so that's pretty exciting. I feel like we've been doing really great as a team. It's great to get all those wins under our belt, especially with all those shutouts, and I think that we can improve a lot from now to the state championship. I really think we can do it this year.
We'd like to start scoring a few more goals, especially against in our conference against the tough competition, because we want to get to a point during a game where we can kind of play a little bit more relaxed.
After the game at Minnetonka Tuesday, the Trojans host Cretin-Derham Hall Saturday. Champlin Park and Maple Grove are both putting together good seasons on the tennis courts this fall. The Crimson hosted the Rebels on Monday afternoon. Highlights from this match, starting with number 2 singles. It's Ann Bundy of Champlin Park in the far court against Victoria Epshatin of Maple Grove. Epshatin will get the forehand winner on her way to a win. Second doubles, it's Hannah Schmeling and Hannah Sather of Maple Grove in the near court against Champlin Park's Maddie Prusman and Allison Conzet. Prusman and Consman win the point. They go on to win the match as well. On to first doubles play, Morgan Palin and Anna Swanson of Maple Grove against Champlin Park's Olivia Svensand and Lauren Witt. The Rebels will get the point here. Good attack on the net there for a point. They win the match. First singles play, Zoe Atkins of the Crimson playing Allie Kelly of the Rebels. Atkins with a couple of strong attacks deep and comes away with the winner at the net. 7th grader Atkins wins the match. Maple Grove also wins the final match of the day at 4th singles in 3 sets. They take the final team point and win 4-3. High school seniors everywhere are trying to figure out what their plans are for next year and beyond. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, we meet Eric Wilson from Benilde St. Margaret's, who's preparing for a life outside of Minnesota. Here's a clip from that story.
Heavily recruited for football by several schools, including Minnesota, Michigan State, and Iowa State, to name 3, Eric chose Harvard. He scored a 33 on his ACT test and is excited for the opportunity.
I really felt a strong connection with the coaches. When I visited there, I had an overnight visit. I just really bonded with the players really well, and I really felt like I've been to 2 Harvard football camps, and I really mixed with the coaches well and communicate well with them, and I feel like it'll be a good place for me.
It's all about academics anyways. I think people lose sight of that. The kids are going for school, and that's a big push for him, was that he wanted to go to a great academic institution. He wants to be a doctor.
You can see the rest of the Eric Wilson story and much more on this week's edition of Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12, our HD channel 799, and on our website, 12.tv.
And let's look at sports.
I have to say, Harvard never is going to be a bad choice,
No,
right?
that's right.
Thanks a lot, John. Now to a local vote 2016, where there's a rematch for a state house seat serving Brooklyn Center and parts of Brooklyn Park.
DFL incumbent Deborah Hilstrom easily won a primary contest this year and is now running for her 9th term in District 40B. She faces Republican Molly Marvin, who ran against her for the same position in 2014.
Hello, I'm State Representative Deborah Hilstrom. I ask for your support this November. I ask for you to send me back to the Minnesota House of Representatives. It has been an honor to represent you. We have accomplished so much together, but there is so much left to do. I ask to be able to go back and work on education. We need to make certain that all of our children have access to quality education, from our smallest learners all the way to higher education. We need to make certain that education is affordable for college for all of our kids. We need to make sure that we have a transportation plan that includes transit. Our community is transit dependent, and we need to make sure we fund roads and bridges as well as transit. I ask for your support to go back to the Capitol, and I ask for your vote in November. Thank you so much.
I am Molly Marvin. I am running for the House of Representatives for District 40B. I am a proud United States citizen and a first-generation immigrant. I love America. I believe in American dreams. I appreciate the right to work and the freedom to pursue happiness. I have been living in Brooklyn Center for 21 years, have worked as a business manager, raised 3 boys with my husband. I want to work for you and with you, side by side, to provide a better education for our children, to reduce taxes, promote business, and to build a safer community. I am asking for your vote. Vote for Molly Marvin.
Still ahead, one person's unique and difficult journey.
We'll be right back.
Well, finally today, an inspirational story about an Ethiopian immigrant who made an incredibly difficult journey on foot through the desert to Israel.
Listen to this. Daniel Sahalo eventually became an Israeli combat paratrooper. He is now the manager of Maja Maria, an international line of art and jewelry that focuses on immigrant struggles. Sahalo spoke in Brooklyn Park on Sunday, and he speaks again tonight. That's Tuesday evening. He has a powerful message about how immigrants in the northwest suburbs can be successful.
The best way is through working together and maybe learning together, and it doesn't have to be government offices or let's say organizations, because our school was opened by private people.
The jewelry exhibit is on display at the Sabis Jewish Community Center in St. Louis Park, and that's on until October 28th. That's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we will see you back here again Wednesday, starting at 4.